Hello, it's Scott Manley here with episode 22 of Xenonauts. Our team have just repelled a terror attack against the city of Belmopan, which is the capital of the Central American nation of Belize. However, the victory was not without its costs, and sadly we are returning with one member lost. Dr. Snidely, you've completed your analysis of the new drone. The medium drone is a battlefield drone roughly 2 meters in diameter. It is the closest thing yet encountered to an alien attack vehicle, possessing heavy armor and powerful fast-firing main cannon that is significantly more dangerous than alien infantry weapons. The drone is best thought of as a miniaturized UFO. We believe the inch-thick armoured shell is fabricated from the same lightweight but durable materials used in the fighter-class UFOs, predictably far more effective against infantry weapons than the powerful missiles or cannons. There are also striking similarities in terms of flight control circuitry and weapons array that suggests a common ancestor. Other elements appear to have been drawn from the light drone, such as powerful frontal scanner and the central alenium reactor, although naturally both these have been significantly enlarged. The formidable weapon system is worth mentioning for two reasons. Firstly, it generates large amounts of highly charged plasma and is capable of firing multiple shots in quick succession. Each of these is a powerful explosion in its own right, capable of killing or seriously injuring an armoured soldier. The second reason is the powerful array stores excess power from the drone's reactor and subsequently uses it to boost the rate of fire. This system works perfectly well until the drone is destroyed, at which point any excess energy would be released in the form of secondary explosion, capable of killing or injuring anything nearby. So Doctor, I don't know if you can read the future, but you're calling it a medium drone. Are you suspecting that there is a larger one out there? Or are you simply comparing it against the size of your ego? Well, good news is the construction teams have managed to bring on online the radar system in Australia, so we now have coverage over all the continents. And it's important to augment this coverage with improved aerial coverage as well, so we can respond to the new threats that we see arriving in our skies. So one thing I have cut out is the research into the alien reactor, which I researched it and then somehow managed to forget to record that particular piece of footage. The alien reactor is an important thing to research because it is an essential step, of course, to future technologies. You see me moving my aircraft around. The reactors will power better and more powerful aircraft, but also researching into the way the power is harnessed inside alenium reactors unlocks plasma explosives. The alien reactor can extract more useful energy from the same lump of selenium than a less advanced device can. The technology of the alien reactor itself may not be directly applicable to our existing selenium explosives, but the principle it operates on are. While low-grade selenium is a reasonably destructive explosive in its own right, this is a rather crude way of using the energy. Using it to generate superheated plasma is a more efficient way of damaging a large target than just dumping the energy from the explosive into the air around it. As such, we have developed a miniaturized plasma generator that can be used to rapidly convert all of the warhead energy into an expanding sphere of plasma. This pushes the air around the point of detonation aside, rather than transmitting energy through it. Losing energy to thermal resistances increases the destructive energy of the explosive. This has allowed us to design a plasma grenade and a plasma rocket to replace the existing selenium explosives and the plasma charge to replace our existing C4 explosive. These plasma explosives are also available to our men in effectively unlimited quantities, so we have withdrawn the obsolete weapons and replaced them accordingly. In order to minimize disruption to combat operatives, the only difference between them is increased damage. I would like to point out that most pyrotechnic devices produce plasma by a chemical reaction. The development of plasma-based explosive has also allowed us to improve the design of our air-to-air munitions, creating a new generation of weapons that replace the existing selenium warheads with more advanced technology. Our current Elenium warheads are certainly powerful explosives, but unfortunately they must rely on the explosive energy for their armor penetration, hardly ideal against armor designed specifically to resist the heat from orbital re-entry. It proved more effective to use a portion of the energy in the Elenium to power a small plasma generator that forms a superheated tube of energy at the front of the warhead as it detonates. This acts like a plasma drill and melts a path through the armor, the thrust from the rocket engines providing the momentum needed for penetration. The remaining energy in the warhead is then used to generate an explosion in the same manner as the conventional Elenium warhead. The energy drained from the previous stage means that this explosion is smaller than before, but the greater penetration of the warhead means that it will actually inflict 40 to 50% more damage. In all other respects, the warheads are identical to the previous generation. We can fit them to our existing rocket motors and produce the new missiles in large numbers at negligible costs. I have taken the liberty of re-equipping our aircraft accordingly. See, that actually sounds like a better explanation. It is a shaped charge powered by the alien explosives. Anyway, moving on, we need to come up with a new project for Dr. Snidely. Now, we have the Valkyrie assault boat, which will let me carry more troops into the combat zone and deploy them via drop pods. We have a buzzard jumpsuit, which might help me deal with those Harridan snipers. We have alien battle rifle, anti-gravity generator, X-59 Marauder, an advanced general purpose interceptor designed to obsolete all existing craft. I like the sound of that. It'll be faster and tougher than its predecessors, and able to carry a cannon and 2 heavy torpedoes. What are its drawbacks? I'm guessing its drawbacks will be that it costs a ton of cash compared to my previous aircraft. Nevertheless, get to work, Doctor. In North Africa, I'm going to build myself a new hangar to accommodate this new one of these things. There we go. We'll be ready in 5 days. And of course, once again, we're dealing with more intruders in our airspace. We've got some cruisers flying around, but at least now we have aircraft that are capable of putting these things down. It will be a good time for us to test our new plasma-based weaponry to see whether that will make destroying these things any easier. Okay, it's down to Foxtrot 3 and 4, supported by Corsair 1. You guys know the drill. You have these new plasma torpedoes. We'd like you to, insert it up the rear tailpipe of this cruiser, ideally into a soft spot in the armor, but the Doctor seems to think that these things are quite capable of going through this armor, so give them a go. Foxtrot 3, you are done. Time to get out of here. There we go, just clear that out. And Foxtrot 4, you have yet to launch your payload. Let yourself go, and Foxtrot 4, you are done. Now Corsair 1 is feeling left out, but you're going to have to fly around the back. Oh, there we go. 4 torpedoes is enough to bring down that cruiser. Eagle-eyed people might notice some strange fluctuations in my purse, in my cash, because I'm cutting out a lot of general ground missions now, because really I'm killing them. I'm running in with the crew and actually killing things, but I'm generally editing out any ground mission which doesn't encounter anything interesting or result in the death of a squad member. Well-run ground missions are actually pretty lucrative these days, and I kind of need the cash to upgrade my fleet, so I'm running all of the ground sites that I can, and so far nobody is dying in many greater numbers. I seem to have cracked the patterns and more or less be able to support my team. But yeah, after testing, it is clear that a pair of Foxtrots are quite capable of taking down a cruiser. And Crash Site 77 is about to reveal its treasures to me. We have some new blood in the team in the form of Sofia Kozlova. She has a scatter laser. The aliens, of course, immediately set to work attacking the locals. But the locals are quite capable of fighting back. 3 shots from the shotgun is enough to take down that Wraith, which is pretty darn impressive. So much for supposedly being members of the alien elite. Having fought more than a few battles against these things, their teleportation gimmick is, well, it's quite interesting, especially when they teleport around behind your dudes, but frequently they teleport and they have no time units left, so they pretty much leave themselves open to attack. Really, it turns out that the biggest problem is psionics, with Mia Bakken being zapped and decides to berserk, unleashing the power of her magic pistol against this irrigation equipment. I'm sure under the influence of the alien psionics, that thing looks like it has tentacles or something. One big long tentacle wound up in a circle. One other thing I've noticed is that the suppression mechanic really does encourage you to spread your attacks around. Normally you would focus attack against one target until it's dead, but if you hit one target until it's suppressed, then generally you're going to end up cutting your way through the aliens a lot faster. That and heavy weapons. Lots of heavy weapons. Yeah, I'm really thinking of maybe redesigning my team to give them more heavy weapons users and perhaps throwing away the tanks for now, but the tank is helping a whole lot. Plus, the tank is actually immune to psionic attacks, so it has a number of features that make it quite useful to have around. Although, of course, it's absolutely no use for storming the bridge. But that's fine because my team's pretty good at storming the bridge without the help of a tank. And the upside of moving to the Armoured Warfare mod is there's a lot less destroyed alien technology. Making 140,000 million, I don't know, whatever that is. It's 140,000 it says here. And that's enough for this mission. Couple of injuries, but nobody is dead, which is always a good way to go home. Oh, Dr. Snidely, what latest innovations has the chocolate factory brought us? The X-59 Marauder is an advanced interceptor designed to counter all known alien craft. It is fast, durable and well armed, and can perform a combat role maneuver in combat. These characteristics make it just as adept to dealing with small alien interceptors as it is at attacking large capital ships. Our greatest advance in performance came from setting aside the old conventions of aircraft design. The fuselage of the Marauder contains a network of powerful integrated thrusters that provide lift and propulsion, with the stubby forward-swept wings mostly being employed for fine maneuvering. While these wings contribute heavily to the overall agility of the interceptor, it is actually entirely capable of flying without them. The same can be said for the tail and vertical stabilizers, where the traditional vertical arrangement has also been replaced with a more unusual forked design. With few aerodynamic concerns, we have been able to focus our attention on combat performance instead. The armor-plated shell of the aircraft is fabricated entirely from hardened alien materials, and is nearly 4 inches thick in some areas, making it more akin to a flying tank than a normal interceptor. The extra engine thrust allows it to carry both a cannon and torpedoes, making it much more rounded combatant than many of its predecessors. The resulting interceptor is squat, ugly, and capable of destroying almost anything it encounters. Much like our engineers. Well, thank you, Dr. Snidely. I might just edit that last comment out of the designs that we're sending to the engineers. After all, you're not going to be the one test flying them. We build anything you want, comrade. Can you build me a Marauder interceptor? Yes, it will take 8 days, 22 hours. Does that include all the paperwork? Because I know you guys are sticklers for that kind of thing. Okay, next priority, Dr. Snidely, is the Predator Assault Armor. That should help taking the fight onto the bridges. Oh! Situation stable, 0 continents lost. We're gonna get $1 million, and, well, we're going downhill a little in Northern Africa in the Middle East, even though we have a base there. But all the same, we're doing pretty well everywhere else. With my extra money, I'm going to start expanding my manufacturing. So we're going to put together a nanotech workshop. It'll cost me $25,000. Nope, let's put that down there. Thank you. So we're going to build a nanotech workshop there and expand our base. And down under, we're going to give the base a laser battery to defend itself, just in case an alien UFO comes calling. We'd like to minimize the damage it does and maximize the damage we do to them. And speak of the devil, more aliens coming around with all their weapons and spaceships and interceptors and a base invasion team. UFO 142 detected disembarking troops near North Africa. Your base is under attack from alien invaders. You must eliminate all of the extraterrestrial units to win this mission, and a loss will mean the destruction of your facility. There are no other victory conditions for the Xenonauts, but the aliens will also win the mission if they hold the command center for 5 turns. The alien forces in this mission are highly aggressive and well equipped, so expect a difficult fight. Additionally, they will attempt to destroy some of your base structures as they sweep through the map, putting them out of action for several days if they are successful. So yeah, bad news, alien invasion of the base. Good news is I get to play with all my characters and all my vehicles. We have cunningly made the doors large enough that we can drive the vehicles around our base, which means these civilians are pretty much walking straight into the automatic laser fire from the Hunter Scout car. However, since we have to arm everyone, it does mean that Luna Kier is having to use ye olde fashioned machine guns instead of laser machine guns that she's been more used to of late. And some of the crew who are used to wolf armor are in jackal armor instead. Thankfully, none of the troops are running around unarmored, and we don't have any civilians in this map. I really wanted to see how the scientist was going to deal with those aliens using his power glove. I'm sure he thinks it's bad. It's also interesting to see in this nano workshop that we have this like robot exoskeleton thingy here. Oh, and we have Reapers! We have Reapers! Quick, quick! Block the passageway! Don't let the Reapers through. Yes. So he could have shot the Reapers, or he could just sit there in the door because the Reapers can't actually get around that thing, and I'd like to see the Reapers attack the tank head on. What are they going to do? Like, bite through its armor? Are they going to impregnate the tank? Actually, that's a really scary prospect. Let's hope the Reapers can't impregnate tanks. I mean, never mind the final product, but, you know, during the infected phase, they would be like zombie tanks driving around and bumping into things. I mean, honestly, the Reapers are actually the biggest threat here since we have a lot of valuable troops that have been running around. So we want to deal with them as quickly as possible. I'm sending my team around to make sure we outflank the enemy so we pincer them in and contain them in the areas where they're not going to cause much damage. Of course, the best strategy for the aliens might be to actually use the Reapers to infect the civilians, right? Yeah, this is my new aircraft hangar. Thankfully, there's nothing inside it. In fact, it's a good job that we've sent all of the aircraft away. The aircraft are not in the map because it would be unfortunate if we damaged the aircraft in a ground battle. Lots of explosions everywhere. We have a small team at the north end, and Robert Cole and Lewis Mitchell are trying to hold off the civilian. I'm pretty sure that is not alone, that there will be more coming, so I'm going to need to put some troops up here to make sure that they can't come through and cause any more trouble. It does strike me that it should be possible to get into a stalemate situation where your tanks are blocking some critical doors and your teams are separated. Like, if you had your team in the command center and you blocked the door with a destroyed tank, the aliens couldn't kill you and you couldn't kill the aliens, so the map would surely just be stuck in a stalemate situation. It would be very unfortunate. I'm not sure what happens when you get stuck in these situations where nobody can actually win the map. I mean, in other maps you have the option of withdrawing, but I don't think you can do that here since you're actually in the base, and withdrawing would mean the loss of the base. Anyway, with that group of civilians practically taken care of, I'm slowly moving everyone to the north end of the base because that's where the other pod is. You can tell where they're invading by these little alcoves that appear in the wall. Oh, and we have another Reaper! We have another Reaper running around. And it's... oh man, it's so stressful. It runs right up to a target and then doesn't attack it. Ouch! That alien not only hitting us with a grenade, but destroying our cover as well. Sophie Collins has no truck with those Reapers. She just shoots it down at close range. Okay, so last attempt. Yes, thankfully that's one pod taken care of. Now we can move Hunter 1 up into position. And Scimitar 1 follows it up. Oh, look at that. Good thing that the aircraft are out on a flight, otherwise we might be blowing them up too. Come on, sniper dude. Yes, that's what I like to see. And you missed that. How did you miss? You missed probably just in the same way that the alien missed. I'm thinking this base attack is almost over. We've definitely thinned down the numbers and we vastly outnumber the targets. Excellent shot by Willie Morgan as well, hitting from that range. And Carla Hansen tries the same thing with lesser results. She's one of the transplants from the Caribbean who's more or less learning to be a soldier, or at least learning to be a super awesome soldier, because obviously they're soldiers when they come here. I just turn them into soldiers capable of defending the Earth from the alien scourge. Okay, now we're going to move the scimitar in and check the area. We have one target that's visible temporarily. Where was it? Just there. Aha! Got it suppressed. And that means I can move everyone else up with impunity. We are completely wrapping ourselves around this target. We've only really taken damage in a couple of workshops. We've really only taken damage in a couple of the hangars and the storage area. Yeah, storage area which we need to move hardware and everything around. Okay, so anything? Hanyal Safar, so good. Also, I have Catalin, who I ordered her not to bring a rocket launcher to a battle inside our own base, but she was having none of that. I will no doubt upgrade her to a scatter laser at some point and she can join the machine gun team, but for now, yes, we have one alien dealing with 2 scout cars and he does not last long. With the attempted base invasion repelled, and with the aliens vanquished, the base is safe again. We hand out awards, we hand out promotions, and we'll continue the fight in the next episode. Until then, I'm Scott Manley. Fly safe.